Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank Mare Forum for organizing this excellent conference in Istanbul. I also very much like to agree with Diederik that it's always a pleasure to be in this beautiful city, in this fantastic country, surrounded by so many friendly people, and also very knowledgeable people around the shipping industry. So for us, EVP, this is a country to be in. Turkey ranks number 8 in our global shipping book. I think it ranks number 15 when it comes to ship owning, so you can see the level of activity of our bank in this part of the world. I'm going to talk the next minutes. I'm going to address the availability of shipping finance. It's not going to be a very positive story, I'm afraid, but it is the reality, and I think we better work with the reality to see how we can improve. So first of all, let's look back at the last 10 years. And I'll break it down in 4 waves of appetite for shipping. Until 2008, ship finance was truly the playing field of European traditional banks, headquartered in Europe, maybe with an office in Greece, an office in Asia, an office in New York, covering shipping as one of their core divisions as an asset-backed activity. After the Lehman crisis, most European banks have reduced their activity. Some of them stopped their activity for a few years on the ship finance side. Others only reduced it. And we saw the second wave coming, ECAs, because the yards in Asia were suddenly faced with a situation whereby there was a lack of financing to finance their orders, the orders that they needed for local employment in the cities and towns around the shipyards. So the Asian ECAs, export credit agencies, stepped up and provided support for owners that were willing to order in Korea or China. Then we saw a third wave, the wave of Asian leasing financing. We saw specifically from China, but to some extent also Korea and Japan. We saw leasing money going into the shipping market, which is effectively high leveraged financing, filling the gap that the European banks were leaving behind. And most recently we've seen the fourth wave, the wave of so-called alternative lenders, alternative finance. That's a group of institutional investors that actually want to finance the shipping projects directly or via a credit fund, rather than funding the banks. Those are the ways, but it means that today there is ultimately, despite the activity of those 4 categories, today there's a shortage of bank debt to fund the entire industry. We can have a look at who's lending today, and this is the senior debt provider. So it excludes leasing money, it excludes also the alternative financiers. You see a long list. The largest lender, China Exim, 17 billion book. Compared to 2008, the largest lender, HSF Nordbank, well over 50 billion book. So the largest lenders of 2008, they've all significantly reduced their loan book on the shipping side. And what's of course also remarkable, in 2008, predominantly European names. In 2017, a truly global mix. And again, this excludes leasing. If you would include leasing money, an ECA covers, non-funded covers, because the China exit number is the funded part, then it would be truly Asian. So, Germany was once within Europe the capital of ship finance. And I think many owners in the Istanbul market also were well served by the German banks. What has happened to the German banks on the shipping side? Here, this is a chart showing the portfolio development of 6 German banks. 4 of the 6, HSAs, Nordl, Commerce and Deutsche, have sold portfolios on the market. They've actively were willing to take discounts in order to get rid of their shipping exposure. KfW is a bit of a different story. They more changed the composition of their shipping book from cargo shipping more to cruise. And ourselves, we have reduced only a little bit. We're currently at 7.2. So, what people are landing, look at this, a lot of logos, but none of these logos are doing loads of volumes. All these institutions are open, but on selective volumes, selective clients, certain criteria. It's not easy to get a loan these days, as you probably all know. So on the left, the pointer, on the left, of course, you see the more conservative banks. They all go for the same names, especially in the lower margin range, from 175 bips to maybe 250 bips. Those are the top tier clients. I think Angelica addressed that before. They said the Virgin market is helped by that lending activity, but it's all the same top tier names. The top names get access to finance and can even enjoy lower margins, cheaper margins. Then all the way on the right, that's the alternative lender space. They definitely need higher pricing, but then they are there to do a loan. And volumes will not be very large, but it helps certainly a part of the shipping industry. There's a space in between, and it's quite empty. We're trying to move in that space. What we see is that some other, this is described here, but let's stick to this slide. You see that some other banks are trying to move into that space, getting a better return for their shipping money, but it does mean, of course, accepting a different risk profile. It is much more difficult to get the right side of this chart all the way towards the left, because the pricing is a natural hard stop for these alternative financiers. They will just simply not move into that pricing. So the market will have to move to them rather than the other way around. So this is taking the middle ground that I just described here. Let's skip this. So, one of the least optimistic slides is about the regulator, because the regulator is playing a very important role in the availability of ship finance. 3 items are worth mentioning. First of all, the ECB is auditing the shipping books of the Eurozone banks. They are concerned about the concentration risk on this cyclical industry, and they want to have a closer look on how well these books are provisioned. I'll come to that in a few seconds. The second item is TRIM, and the third item is Basel IV. So back to the ECB audit. The ECB is going into the kitchens of the European Eurozone-based shipping banks, and is going to see how well do you cook the food, how well do you do your work, how well do you analyze your risk, and are you provisioned to the right level. And the conclusion is probably most banks are not. So the ECB is imposing increased loan loss provisions in the books. You don't have to take the loss yet, but you have to build up the provision. Be conservative. Then, let's go to TRIM. Targeted review of internal models. Until now, every bank was able to develop its own model, and that has really helped. It helped us as well. It helps many banks in the Eurozone. Again, this is ECB, so it applies to the Eurozone banks. But the ECB is not very happy because the models are very inconsistent with each other. And the ECB also expressed concerns. Here the jury is not out yet, but if the banks don't get their act together on aligning some of the assumptions in their internal rating models, maybe the ECB will impose a standard model to all the banks, and it will definitely not help. It will not help the availability of that finance. Third, Basel IV. Basel IV, of course, applies to every country that adopts it. So it's not a Eurozone initiative. Basel IV is, of course, a global initiative, but countries need to subscribe to it. It's only a guideline. Ship finance always had the advantage of the ability to go for an advanced approach, and that's the Basel III. You can see that if you do a 100 million loan, you only have to take 50 million of risk-weighted assets because you are secured, and of that 50 million, you then allocate 15% equity aside. which is in this example 7.5 million. If you would not have the advanced approach but the standard approach, the entire loan is risk-weighted assets, and then immediately you double your RWA. So fortunately, shipping banks, asset finance banks like ourselves, we've been able to work with the advanced approach. However, Basel IV is going to be critical to the advanced approach consumer banks, and they're going to impose a floor on the capital allocation, on the capital coverage of our loan book. And the floor is increasingly going up. Between 2022 and 2027, the floor goes up. And in 2027, for the same loan, we will have to allocate 45% more equity. So, what does it mean? More equity to the same loan? It either means we have to further shrink our loan book to deal with the same equity level that we have, or we have to get more equity, and it comes at a price. In any case, pricing will go up, because if you want to make a return on equity as an investor into a bank, you need to see higher margins on the shipping loan book than we know today. So, my last slide, Mr. Chairman. The good news, most banks are open. However, tickets are very small and banks are very selective. Banks are very selective on the profile of the client and the profile of the transaction that they choose. So new production per institution is not that big, which means that their portfolio is overall still coming down. What banks try to achieve, and I think is one of our strong points traditionally, is achieve diversification, customer diversification, asset diversification. Clearly, if you look at the German market, the larger banks that you saw on the league table that have sold portfolios at distress level, that was a result of too much concentration risk in the book. Fortunately, the banks today are more focused on diversification. It results in stable books compared to the past. Most banks still go for top-tier credit, it's easier, and there they compete the pricing, but not the structure. You still have to, even if you're a top-tier name, you have to put a lot of equity into your project in order to get a loan. Corporate recourse is a given. Country risk, that's unfortunately affecting this market a bit. Not every bank is active in Turkey. Yeah, and overall, as a result of the regulator, capital increase, pricing will further go up. LTVs will further go down. We need more equity. The community, the shipowning community, needs more equity into their balance sheets in order to get a loan from a established lender. With this, I'd like to finish. Thank you.